All right, everyone, welcome back from the episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Monday, May 30th, 2022. If you're not done so already and you like the content, give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, etc. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, hope everybody had a great extended weekend. Little time off from the charts. If you guys messaged me and I haven't responded, I'm not ignoring anybody. I've made a really good point to kind of stay away from my phone this weekend. Got outside, spent some time on the beach and just kind of unplugged a little bit here, but now turning my attention back to the markets, and we'll get back into it tomorrow morning. It's a little bit late tonight. It's about 10 o'clock at night, but I want to talk about Bitcoin here. So doing a little crypto update. We'll talk equities as well. But so we've been talking about this red bar here. This was kind of the one we were paying attention to. And we can see Ether there. That's really, you can see it stands out a little bit more here. We'll get to Ether in a second. But basically, just doing a little crypto update because Bitcoin got a nice pop. So nice little bid there on good volume. If we go to the hourly time frame, we can zoom in. We can see that really started earlier today. And really in the afternoon, really like a day ago. And then started to bid overnight, consolidated, and now getting a little bit of a pop here in the afternoon today, earlier in the afternoon. And now a little bit of a bullish inside bar on the hourly. So it looks like Bitcoin wants to push higher here. It did negate this red bar, as we were just talking about, and now it's really got to negate this one. So you still have an inside bar pattern, technically, via this particular candle right here on the daily, which is 32,159 spot 56. That is the high. If we close above that, you have a failed inside bar, and I've been saying really over the last week or two that I expect it to play out to the upside here. Even though we started to roll over a little bit, what did I say? If we look at Ether here, what did I say over the weekend before the break? I said, yeah, it's rolling over here, but I don't think it breaks down. I think maybe you get through double bottom. Maybe you'll get a pierce of double bottom, but a lot of the time when you have these big tail candles like this, a lot of the time you'll get a little bit of a retrace, and then it's kind of a fake out, and maybe they run stops or something like that, and then you get a move to the upside. I've not been saying this for the last 2 weeks. There's just really the last month almost. It's been almost, let's see, it's May 30th. Well, it's been about 3 weeks here since this tail happened and this big flush out. And I said, guys, there's just too much demand here. This isn't going to break down right now. Even if it goes down and tests this, we're probably going to have a reflex bounce, and if it makes a lower high, then maybe we can come down and push through that. I still think Bitcoin has lower to go, but in the near term, I've been kind of bullish here, and it looks like we got a nice reversal here. And if you can see it much better on Ether, as Ether did hit double bottom and kind of broke down. This little inside bar here did start to play out. Basically hit double bottom, and now a nice pop closing back above this red bar high. So that's a good look for Ether, and your next level here would be right here, 2108 spot 09. So that's going to be the high there. And really a good turnaround here for the crypto market in general. Upside on Ether, you're looking at that daily 50 moving average, and then max upside would really be this big trend line here, which is also a head and shoulder pattern. So be careful of that. But that's kind of where I'd be looking for Ether to go in the near term. And then Bitcoin, I've told you guys about 36,000. It's possible maybe it gets up to 40. We could extend this trend line out. I wouldn't necessarily rule it out. You do also have this this high right here that also kind of coincides with that trend line. So it's possible that if we really get a bid, that we could go up there and trade up in that direction. Doge has actually been holding up a little bit better. Still got to get above this nice tail high here at spot 0758, and then your red bar candle here at 0912. Polka dot a little bit on the weaker side, but again, reversing just like everything else. And then again, you can see this is the red bar here that you got to get above. It coincides with the same red bar on Bitcoin, Ether, and all of them. Here's Litecoin, same kind of level here, and really the same chart. Litecoin getting above this breakdown candle, so a good reversal there. XRP also in good shape, breaking above that. It's really the same chart pretty much across the board here. Cardano a little bit on the weaker side, or excuse me, Solana on the weaker side, and Cardano a little bit stronger here. So a bit of a mixed bag here. Some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker, but overall, obviously they all tend to trade together at times, and that's what they're doing right now. Now, over the weekend, we talked about the possible correlation breakdown. So Bitcoin has been positively correlated for quite some time with specifically the Nasdaq, but the broad equity markets in general. And while last week, if we just flip over here to the spiders, actually let's go to Thinkorswim. So here's the E-mini. You know, you can see obviously we blasted off the lows here. I mean, it was like a 9% move from this low to the high on Thursday. And, you know, we can see Bitcoin didn't really participate in that. You know, this was Thursday here. This was Thursday's candle. So, I mean, we kind of traded down really as the markets were moving higher. So typically we were looking at Bitcoin and Ether as being leading indicators for quite a while, and it was working like money for a couple months really. You know, Bitcoin was moving and leading the equity markets and kind of telegraphing what the equity markets were going to do, specifically the Nasdaq. And that kind of broke down over the last week. So maybe that's, maybe Bitcoin here is starting to play catch up. So that could be a positive for equities in the near term if we start to see money flow back into risk things like Bitcoin. We talked about the Russell 2000. I said this extensively. I was banging my fist on the table. I said, guys, the Russell's making higher lows here. That's not bearish. And it turned out to be, essentially it played out here as we got this massive rally in the E-mini and in the Nasdaq and really the broad markets. Markets are trading a little bit lower. So despite Bitcoin getting a bid, markets are trading a little bit lower here, although they did go up and test for 4,200 in the futures. So that, I think we get up there, maybe tomorrow, maybe later this week. I think that obviously we'll hold up for the end of the month, I believe. And I think this market can rally potentially into June OPEX, potentially. I wouldn't necessarily, not trying to put a concrete timeline on it, but that's kind of what I would expect here. Typical bear market rallies are about 3 weeks. And so the last one was as well. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Now yields are dropping a little bit here, or excuse me, bond prices are dropping a little bit in the overnight, which is bringing the E-mini off the highs. But here's one thing I want to point out to you. So typically that would be bad for Nasdaq, right? You can see the E-mini is red right now. Here's the NQ futures, still green. Guys, this is bullish. Write this down. It's bullish. Nasdaq leading with bond prices lower is bullish. That's telling you there is more money flow. So I'm expecting probably we'll get some type of a holiday hangover tomorrow, some type of light volume session, which bodes upside, but it could be a pause day. We did have 3 massive moves up, 1, 2, 3 up here on the E-mini. You can see it better on the spiders here. Look at the surge, 1, 2, 3 power bars. So typically you get a retrace candle, maybe an inside hammer candle. That's kind of what we're expecting here. You can already see it starting to develop there a little bit on the ES, even though it's not a hammer. But you're seeing it's just basically a pause candle. But in any case, if the Nasdaq continues to lead, we could look for potentially, a flag pattern here to push us up. And then, I think FinTwit and I think a lot of, average traders are going to try and short this area here. Personally, I think a lot of them try to short 420, 425 on the spiders, somewhere in here, a 50 moving average. That's what they did last time. They tried to short this little wedge here between the 200 and 50, which typically risk reward. I mean, I can't fault you for doing that, but I think, especially if we start to flag up, we do have a little bit more legs in this rally, at least one more leg. And yeah, I wouldn't say anything beyond that, at least at this point. But that's kind of what we're looking at here moving forward. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. It's kind of late at night. I just want to get a little video out, a little update, as I was really just tried my best to stay the heck away from the screens all weekend and got some sun out there. So feeling good, ready to attack it this week. If you guys are interested, come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Telling you guys, we're killing it this year, beating the market by just about 25-30% here, up over 10% for the year. And we still got half the year, more than half the year to go here. And market is still down about 15% year to date. So anyways, you want to get in on those gains, come find me at carnivoretrades.com. In any case, you guys have a great rest of your night. Hope you had a good weekend, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.